Hey guys, what's going on? What are you doing here? Oh man, it's been a minute. It's good to see you. Hope everything's going well. Let's talk a little bit about The Wire, the first three episodes. Just a couple of points I want to hit on um, that I think are really important, just to make sure we're kind of all on the same page moving forward. So, in these episodes, there's a lot of characters that are being introduced, and I know that can kind of get a little confusing. You might ask yourself, why am I watching this? What does this have to do with drugs and crime? Hopefully, after today, it'll make a little bit more sense. Basically, the scenes that I want to focus on throughout this season are the scenes that are dealing with what Bunny Colvin is doing within his district when it comes to his legalization experiment. There are obviously some other things that you'll be interested in the show. Episode 1, for example, does a great job depicting how street corner drug operations work, how they split up the labor so that nobody can get caught for possession or for intent to distribute or for drug sales. You have one person that has the money, you have another person that's giving hand signals, you have another person that's doing the drugs, and if you split up all of that, you'll never catch somebody with both drugs and money. They don't carry all the drugs on them, they have it in a stash, and that division of labor essentially allows for everybody to only get charged with possession. And if you have young kids do it like they do on the street corners in The Wire, then those kids are being pulled in and let out in the same day, and nobody's really going to jail or getting in trouble for selling drugs. So that part's interesting from the first episode. Hopefully you found that intriguing. But these first few episodes set the stage for what Bunny Colvin is going to do in his district with kind of a legalization experiment. And I wanted us to take time to see how that plays out, to see the pros and the cons and that type of a situation. So in episode 2, there's a phenomenal scene that happens towards the end of the episode, and I will provide a link to that scene so you can rewatch it just to make sure you know what scene I'm talking about. But there's an officer in their precinct, Officer Dozerman, who gets shot for attempting a hand-to-hand buy. He was buying 3 vials of drugs and he gets shot for it. And a lot of the other officers are questioning whether what they're doing is right. Bunny Colvin is questioning whether he's leading his troops in the right direction, whether the war they're fighting is worth it or not. And he gives this really compelling speech about a brown bag, about how brown bags allowed individuals back in the day when public drinking was against the law to continue to drink in public, but to not get caught for it, because police officers had to stop and talk to them if they saw them drinking in public. But as soon as they dropped that alcohol into a brown paper bag, the officers could kind of have plausible deniability. They could say, I didn't know what they were drinking, I wasn't going to go in and search them for it. And they could go along doing their real police work. And Bunny Colvin wants to create kind of a societal brown bag for drugs. And the way that he starts to do that is he has the idea that you start to see rolling forward in episode 3. There's that scene where all of the majors are gathered together. They're talking about how they're going to lower crime rates. They have things, kind of in the box suggestions. They're going to increase overtime. They're going to make 12-hour days. They're going to turn felonies into misdemeanors. And that's how you massage crime rates to go down. And Colvin's idea was to legalize it. His idea was thinking outside of that box. And so he wants to create these zones where drugs can be used essentially legally within his district. So his plan is to create these drug zones where if you want to use, if you want to sell, you can do it there and the police won't bother you. This is his brown bag solution, much like dropping that the alcohol into the brown bag, so it gives police officers plausible deniability to go about doing their own police work. He's trying to do that with drugs by creating these zones. And you start to see him do that in episode 3. So this is the plot line that I want us to focus on the most through this season. Again, there's lots of other things that are going on. Cuddy getting out of prison. You can kind of see how difficult it is for someone with a record to be able to make their way in society cleanly. We talked a lot about that in relation to the new Jim Crow, and Cuddy is a really good illustration of that. So his plot line is important and interesting. Again, you see a lot of the violence that surrounds the drug trade within the inner cities. And so there'll be a lot of illustrations of points that we've talked about, but I want to watch specifically for this legalization plot that is centering around Bunny Colvin's plan. You can see the seeds of that in these first couple of episodes, so hopefully you paid particular attention to that. I hope you all are doing very well. I miss seeing you. I wish this was under different circumstances and we could sit around and talk face to face, but I look forward to seeing your thoughts and reading your thoughts as the semester goes along. Please reach out to me and let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you, or if there's anything that you need. And I will post another video about some of the episodes we'll watch for next week really soon. I'll see you guys later.